The Steam Next Festival is live, so here are some great demos to play, including a Kingsfield-like, some awesome strategy titles, bullet heaven games, brawlers and more. So let's begin with Gooey, a fast-paced, physics-based platformer where you swing, fling and stretch through challenging levels with your elastic grappling arm. Build momentum and chain swings together to fly through each level with speed and precision, where timing and trajectory matters just as much as reflexes. There will be new hazards like conveyor belts, bouncers, fans, and electric traps that you need to contend with, and takes inspiration from Super Meat Boy, Celeste, and Super Mario Maker with Steam Workshop support, and looks like precision platforming goodness. Project Warlock Lost Chapters is a standalone expansion of the retro first-person shooter with magic, expanding on the original's universe with new worlds, weapons, and carnage. You step into the boots of the Warlock during his early days, carving a path through realms crawling with monsters, demons, and cultists, using both magic and gunfire. The three themed worlds here are Pirate, Space, and interestingly enough, Vietnam, and a small, awesome first-person shooter action. This video is brought to you by Berserk B.I.T.S, an auto-battler idle RPG that lives on your desktop while you go about your day, where your digital battle intelligent teammate, or BIT, fights viruses, levels up, and collects chips, even as you work on documents and spreadsheets, check your email, or browse the web. Coming to us from the developer of the pixel art action platformer Berserk Boy, and where that game takes inspiration from Mega Man X, this instead has more Mega Man Battle Network DNA, with Digimon, Digivice, and Tamagotchi inspiration. Collect over 100 battle chips and combine them into decks of skills, attacks, and buffs which your BIT uses in combat, gradually becoming stronger as you unlock new and more powerful chips. You have a home base to upgrade and customize with decorations, and can even import your own sprite work to personalize your BIT's appearance. There's a main story campaign, side missions, boss fights, and more, being no mere idle game, but has a narrative thread as you attempt to figure out who or what is behind the escalating waves of viruses threatening the net. If interested, their free demo for the Steam Next Festival is live right now, so try it, wishlist the game, and look forward to the release on November 20th. The developers are running a competition during the Next Festival where if you reach level 25 in the demo, you have a chance of winning your very own customized pixel art BIT created by them for you, so join their Discord to find out the details. Bloodgrounds is a brutal tactical strategy RPG that casts you as a former gladiator turned wealthy patron, recruiting and commanding fighters in tactical arena battles while overseeing your city's growth. You gather a roster of gladiators, selecting from melee, ranged, and magic, training their skills, giving them gear, and making risky decisions during combat. You can show mercy to some fools after combat to recruit them, or execute them to gain favor with the audience, depending on your current needs at the time. Positioning, abilities, traps, and synergies matter in the turn-based tactical combat, with the arena being randomly generated with obstacles and objects like barrels, so you need to adapt your strategy accordingly. The meta progression system comes in the form of expanding and upgrading the city, unlocking new vendors and upgrade systems, which, in addition to permadeath of your gladiators, does remind me of Darkest Dungeon, with a main narrative that has you plotting your revenge against a tyrannical emperor who stole your freedom and murdered your father, and will be for fans of the genre. I don't know how they keep doing it, but developer Rusty Lake absolutely crushes it with their point-and-click adventure games, which tend to have more of a sinister overtone, with their next title being Servant of the Lake. Set in the eerie Vendeboom estate, you begin your role as the family's new servant under mysterious circumstances and must immediately get to work, perform daily tasks like arranging portraits or doing laundry, but also assist in alchemical experiments, unlocking hidden rooms and solving surreal puzzles. You're free to roam every room, examine objects, and uncover cryptic clues about the family that lives there, with more complex and strange tasks being assigned to you the deeper you go. While not exactly a horror game, it's creepy for sure, contrasted with the cartoonish art style, which is an interesting and signature look, with the mood and music contributing as well. This is set before the events of Rusty Lake Roots, filling in lore about the family, so whether you're a long-time fan of the series or are new to it, I do think it's worth jumping in here. We also have the long-in-development Light Odyssey participating in this event, where I remember playing this at last year's Gamescom Asia, and it has already been almost a year since then, being a grimdark boss rush action game where you play as the last flicker of light trying to restore brightness to a world swallowed by darkness. You face down giant colossi, each with 3 brutal phases for each battle, learning attack patterns, chaining dodge combos, and mastering stamina management to survive, having some Souls-like inspiration to the combat, although you did have access to a ranged attack in the demo that I played. Between colossi fights, explore ruined temples and fallen cities, solving environmental puzzles and deciphering symbols with some sort of ancient language which you have to learn if you want to figure out the narrative in a manner perhaps similar to Tunic. Each victory unlocks skills and enhancements which you can take into your next fight, with the scale of the bosses as compared to your character and the sense of scale being one of the main selling points. Stuck Together is a co-op physics rage game where you and a partner play as 2 toys permanently joined at the torso, forced to cooperate through every climb, jump and swing in your escape from the house. You navigate perilous rooms full of curtains, laundry lines, shelves and hazards, using each toy's limbs independently, coordinating when to grab, when to swing and when to let go, so that you can use the momentum to move together. One slip, one mistimed swing and you both fall, losing minutes if not hours of progress, so work together and communicate in this test of friendship. Oh, and just when you think you're getting somewhere, the hand of your sadistic owner might just swat you out of the sky, adding even more tension with the overall look and aesthetic that should be familiar to 80s and 90s kids. An awesome looking isometric action roguelite is Wizard Cats, one that has great pixel art and has you playing as a feline sorcerer attempting to wrangle magic itself. You wage war against endless hordes of enemies using spells built from combinations of up to 7 runes as you hunt for arcs, shards and runic synergies to amplify your arcane powers. Combat is fast-paced as you sling spells, dodge enemies and duel powerful wizard bosses, with the literal spell crafting aspect and the endless possibilities there being one of the main appeals. Interestingly, the wizard bosses will have access to spells created by other players, being some sort of asymmetric multiplayer akin to backpack battles or super autopats, but I've not really seen it being done in an action roguelite, so this could be interesting, and come on, who doesn't love some adorable but deadly cats? Night Swarm is a vampire-themed roguelite bullet heaven title where you rise as a young bloodlord battling swarms of werewolves under moonlit skies. You dash across arenas, firing auto attacks and unleashing dark abilities, all while commanding your pack of allies to support you in the fray. Each run rewards you with new vampire powers, cursed blessings and permanent upgrades, rolling these into subsequent runs that allow you to push further on. I like the tabletop miniature aesthetic that they have chosen for the characters, not exactly being animated but toddling along instead, being visually different from the other games in this space while retaining the compelling gameplay loop, releasing a significant update to their previous demo for the next festival, so go give it a try. Shards of Order is a dark fantasy RPG where the world's ancient laws have fractured and your job is to lead survivors through decay, fight monsters and restore order one shard at a time. Choose from 5 playable characters, each with distinct abilities, equipment and personal story arcs, and form a party used to explore the world. You build a shared deck of cards that every hero uses, so every upgrade, weapon choice, and new card must be carefully weighed for how it affects the entire party. However, this is not just a deck builder and is a true RPG where characters can level up, add points to skill trees, customize their equipment, select dialogue choices, and even have skill checks to determine what options are available to you. Combat operates on a time-based counter system instead of being turn-based, so cards you play advances enemy timers, forcing you to strategize how quickly or carefully you should act to not let foes overwhelm you. Nowhere does it say that it is a roguelite, so this could be a CRPG by a different name, having a sick art style and some monstrous bosses as well. From the developer of Node Farm comes Node Math, an idle factory sim built around combining numbered nodes with math operators to generate bigger numbers, earn income and expand your machine. You link nodes like adders, multipliers, exponents and negatives into networks, tuning how they feed values into each other in order to hit target values and unlock new tiers. Money earned lets you buy new nodes, speed up production rates, expand your node grid space, and unlock new islands with fresh rules and challenges, forcing you to rethink past designs. The game is minimalist, focusing entirely on numbers and systems, so the visual design is clean and UI driven, looking like an interesting alternative in the factory builder space. Publisher Oro Interactive and developer Cybernetic Walrus have really hit their stride, making titles with an inherent viral component to them, with a great example being Roadside Research, a co-op first-person management sim where you and your friends play as aliens disguised as gas station attendants running a roadside business while secretly gathering intel for an upcoming invasion. You start by cleaning pumps, stocking snacks and serving customers, all while hiding your true identity and keeping suspicion low. The routine feels ordinary at first as you fuel cars, restock shelves and check out the customers, but underneath that rhythm, you're scanning, experimenting and collecting data for alien tech upgrades. Every shift gets more hectic as more humans arrive, new tools unlock and your cover becomes harder to maintain. And you have to be careful since becoming too suspicious will trigger the arrival of Men in Black types that might spoil your mission. Every upgrade changes how your station operates, from faster cash registers, automated refuelers, better disguises, and even upgrades for your alien technology, so the challenge comes from juggling both sides, maintaining smooth customer service while also pushing the alien agenda forward. Early demo reception has been very positive, echoing the slapstick fun of titles like Content Warning, but as a first-person sim, so if they play their cards right, this could be huge. Placid Plastic Deck, A Quiet Quest is a narrative card battler spin-off of the viral hit Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, adding, perhaps controversially, more gameplay. It tells the story of Zoe, a teenage girl trying to mend a fractured friendship by entering a regional card tournament with nothing but a deck of ducks. You explore vibrant towns, seaports, and odd floating islands, engaging locals, uncovering secrets, and unlocking themed decks and game boards. The gameplay portion has you placing cards, casting spells, and managing resources to outwit your opponents, whose decks evolve in surprising ways. Choose dialogue options that shape relationships, revealing more of the story, and unlock side objectives. I don't know if there's more to this game than meets the eye, since I'm half expecting frog fractions here given their other game, so we'll see, but it's certainly a curiosity. GODBREAKERS is a brutal, fast-paced co-op hack-and-slash title where up to 4 players work together to fight against world-destroying bosses. You roam 6 surreal biomes filled with evolving threats, using fluid movement and aggressive attacks to outmaneuver foes as the environment shifts beneath your feet. Combat is the focus, allowing you to chain combos, cancel moves mid-swing, and interrupt animations, mixing in dashes and stealing enemy abilities to turn the tides in a special move known as a God Break. Boss designs look impressive and will have multiple phases, pushing your team to the limit in terms of coordination and reflexes. You're able to unlock new archetypes, gear, and modifiers, drastically altering the playstyle, whether you focus on offense, control, or hybrid play, with co-op, of course, allowing your team to complement each other. This occurs in the post-AI world which has destroyed humanity in striving for perfection, where you play as the last weapons of the Coven fighting back and is the spark of revolt against the all-powerful, looking awesome with great action. I've been a fan of developer One Shark for a long time, primarily due to their signature art style that has an almost rubber hose quality to it, even way back in 2016, with Gloom Punks being their latest, and it's a co-op roguelite beat-em-up. This drops you into a fever dream world where power costs life and the only way forward is through sacrifice and chaos. You and up to 4 players hack through twisted realms born from broken fairy tales, unleashing combos, absorbing blood to strengthen yourself, and using death not as failure, but as fuel for progression. Every time you fall, you get reborn, unlocking strange perks, mutating your character, which redefines the next run. You'll rescue and raise pets, including rats, wolves, and even a walking cheese block that fight alongside you or distract foes, with permanent progression in the form of a home base to upgrade, where you can forge weapons, upgrade gear, hatch pets, and more. It's surreal and very strange, but given the recent success of Absalom, there's definitely an appetite for this kind of game. From the developer of Little Goody Two Shoes comes Hell Maiden, a bullet heaven roguelite with their signature retro anime-inspired art style and explores what happens after Dante's Divine Comedy. You'll descend through 9 circles of hell as anime girls, facing endless demon hordes while building your deck from 2 core card types, weapons and mods that combine to create devastating effects. Befriend and equip the Poets of Limbo, whose blessings and signature weapons grant unique perks that change how you play. At its core, it is still a bullet heaven title and looks just as satisfying when you destroy swarms of enemies, with the usual meta progression systems as well, but it's a story-driven adventure with an actual narrative. This is their strong suit as seen in their previous titles, so applying that to a bullet heaven title is interesting, and I expect this to be a high-quality title. A unique title is Goodnight Universe, a first-person narrative adventure game from the developer of Before Your Eyes, where you had to blink to progress the game, where in this game you play as Isaac, a 6-month-old baby, developing psychic powers in a house where love, fear, and corporate secrets collide. You cannot walk or crawl yet, but your eyes become your tools, with camera or face tracking input, as you control Isaac's gaze to interact with objects, influence events, and unlock teleportation or mind powers as you explore every room in your world. It's unique for sure, with this developer nailing the narrative experience, so I expect big things from this game and does look kind of cute. Another long-in-development title is Hermit and Pig, a turn-based adventure RPG about anxiety, friendship, and courage told through the unlikely bond between a reclusive hermit and his loyal truffle-hunting pig, having plenty of humor and just looks like a great time. The hermit prefers to be out in the forest searching for truffles, but gets entangled in a conspiracy which is way above their pay grade. Combat is turn-based, where you have to chain attacks within a short time to outpace enemies while managing your nerves and confidence, looking kind of Earthbound-like in some ways. Dialogue choices carry weight, where awkward or anxious responses can deal cringe damage, turning social interactions into its own kind of battle. Think of this as a JRPG and you'll get a sense of the exploration as you walk around talking to characters and finding items such as better gear, trinkets, and pig upgrades, giving you more options in combat. It definitely leans into the humor with the writing, with a simple pixel art look which is pretty charming as well. I love weird games, which is why Fish Cube First Catch got my attention, being a surreal speed fishing adventure where your boat is literally powered by the fish that you catch. You whip out 2 rods, one to steer your boat by pulling in a strong catch, and the other to cast further or to snag additional fish, all while navigating shifting water lanes and avoiding hazards and other dangers. Time attack stages pushes you to optimize pathing, balance speed and catch weight, and managing tension so that the fish doesn't snap your line. As you haul in exotic deep sea creatures, some become parts of your engine, helping you to move faster, while others you can sell or trade to upgrade equipment or unlock new stages. I believe First Catch is a free standalone demo, with the main game being titled Fish Cube Fishtastic Fishing Fishscapes, but weird is good, so check this out. I Am Machine is an isometric action roguelite set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by machines, where you play as Eric, a lone survivor turned cybernetic warrior after tragedy struck, having to go on a quest of revenge to save his kidnapped daughter. You slash through mechanical foes, dodging traps and exploring dangerous zones filled with enemies, relics, and hidden paths. A certain degree of aggression is required in combat as you switch between melee, ranged, and augmentation skills on the fly to most effectively take out your enemies. Each run yields new parts and modules which you can use to customize and construct defenses like turrets and lasers, where you can place these to permanently bolster your stronghold which helps out in future runs, adding an almost tower defense-like element which is unique. There are also NPCs to talk to, and seems to be taking lessons from Hades in terms of the meta progression layers, having potential and releases soon, so give the demo a try. An ambitious looking title is Of Ash and Steel, a third-person action RPG set on the crumbling island realm of the Kingdom of the Seven, where you must claw your way back from ruin and carve your path through the ghosts of its past. Your room is open world without waypoint markers or handholding, making sense of the world and getting into combat encounters when necessary. Different combat stances will be available to you, and depending on the weapon you choose to wield will greatly affect your playstyle, from an agile rapier to heavy two-handed weapons. It's an open world RPG, so you're free to explore, coming across towns and NPCs, and taking on various missions where your actions will have an effect on the world. There will be multiple factions vying for control, and you can choose to ally or oppose them, or to simply go about your own way, lone wolf style, with the balance of power constantly shifting as a result. Venture into more dangerous zones which promise greater rewards while also having greater dangers, where I'm interested in the narrative structure in particular, but could be somewhere in the same realm as Kingdom Come Deliverance and has potential. Developer Green Heart Games is best known for Game Dev Tycoon from 2013, which is an insanely long time ago if you think about it, and all this time, they have been working on Tavern Keeper in some form, finally getting an early access date and a demo to try out. This is a cozy, chaotic tavern management tycoon game where you run your own fantasy tavern. Design every room, place furniture, hire staff, stock ale and food, and deal with your customers, including the variety of shenanigans that they get up to, from food fights and more. It's a tycoon game, so the resource management layer is expected, having to make sure that you have enough food and drink to keep your patrons happy. Over time, you upgrade and advance various systems with more advanced ingredients, staff promotions, and more decorative unlocks, allowing you to customize and build the tavern of your dreams. It's also being framed as a magical storybook RPG, so I believe there's a story mode and narrative, being one of those titles from a legendary game developer, so it's probably worth checking out. Verho Curse of Faces also releases very soon, and is a first-person dark fantasy dungeon crawler set in the cursed land of Yariv, where every inhabitant must wear a mask or perish instantly. You explore winding corridors, ancient catacombs, and decaying castles, fighting grotesque creatures while uncovering the truth behind the curse that has ruled for 600 years. Combat is deliberate and weighty as you swing swords, cast spells, and use relics, timing strikes and parries to survive against enemies that hit hard and move unpredictably, which is where the King's Field comparison comes in. Masks are your lifeline and your power, with each one granting distinct abilities, so experiment with them to suit your preferred playstyle. The Souls-like influence extends to exploration, with shortcuts, hidden rooms, and secret artifacts to discover, looking to explain the lore in a cryptic fashion, which is not my favorite narrative style, but still, there's definitely something to this game. I don't know why we still do not have a date for Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, where it seems to have been pushed to 2026, but did release a demo in October, so I'm guessing that this is the final round of feedback that they are looking for before they're ready for the early access launch. This is one of my favorite series ever, so to see a new entry while the IP is with Ubisoft is interesting, with strategy game publisher Hooded Horse getting involved as well. This looks and feels like Heroes of Might and Magic 3, perhaps the most popular entry in the genre and my personal favorite, but adds new mechanics and 2 new factions, so whether you're a longtime fan, have played more modern indie entries like Songs of Conquest, or are completely new, I think you should check this out. Astro Botanica is a first-person survival crafting game set on Earth 300,000 years ago, in which you play as Zell, an alien botanist stranded in a low CO2 world and tasked with using plant life to survive and evolve. You cultivate soil, plant native and alien species, and brew tonics that influence metabolism, environment, or animal behavior. Threats loom in the form of hungry, wild creatures, unpredictable weather, and even primal humans, so you need to be careful if you are to survive. This looks like classic survival game stuff, with the added alien botany aspect looking interesting, also having RPG-like systems of progression through 6 unique skill paths, unlocking more systems and mechanics as you go along, and given how these games tend to blow up, might be a hit down the line. Also delayed from 2025 into 2026 is Menace, a sci-fi turn-based tactics RPG from the developer of Battle Brothers, where you are managing an interplanetary force and have to decide on which colony to help or leave to die. The turn-based tactical combat looks strategic, with an extensive XCOM-like management layer as well, having an excellently done sci-fi theme and a variety of units, from infantry to tanks and mechs, with the demo being updated with new difficulty modes and a second pirate operation with 10 missions to beat, being a hefty chunk of content and will be for fans of the genre. Watch this video for more Steam Next Festival picks.